So I just wanted to introduce a little bit about the story that we're going to tell. So this story is one of the stories that we usually tell either at the end of one of our classes for CK10, or it's usually one of the stories that we tell as kind of a small Dharma lesson after the meditation that we do nightly. So this is just like a sample of what we usually like to do and how it usually has a moral at the very end. So this story is titled A Circle of Good Deed. Once upon a time, two good friends and very compassionate guys named Alvin and Brian went for a short stroll around the city. They saw a poor-looking guy begging in the street. His name is Matthew. Alvin felt pity for him, and he gave him a bag full of 100 gold coins. Matthew became very happy and thanked Alvin. And then he left for home. On the way, he saw another person who needed help. And Matthew could have spared a coin or two to help this person. Instead, he chose to ignore it. But on the way home, a street thug named Tim robbed him of his bag of coins and ran away. Matthew became depressed and went back begging in the street again. The next day, Alvin and Brian saw the same guy, Matthew, begging again. Alvin was surprised that after getting a bag full of coins which could last a lifetime, Matthew was still begging. So he walked to Matthew and asked him the reason for this. Matthew told him about the whole incident, and Alvin again pitied him. So this time, he gave him a diamond. Just so you know, Alvin's a really rich guy. The poor guy, Matthew, was very happy and immediately went home. On the way, he saw someone who needed help again, but he chose to ignore it. Upon reaching home, he safely put the diamond in an empty pot of water with a plan to cash it out later and live a wealthy life. His younger brother, James, was not home at the time. Matthew was very tired, so he decided to take a nap. And while he was sleeping, his brother James came home, picked up that empty pot of water, and walked towards the river close by to fill up with water. James didn't know that there was a diamond in the pot. Upon arriving at the river, he dipped the pot into the river upside down and then turned it right side up to get a full pot of water. And so, by that time, the diamond was already gone. Then Matthew woke up, and he went to see the pot. He asked his brother about the diamond, and James told him he didn't know it was in the pot, and that it must be lost in the river. Matthew couldn't believe his bad luck, and so he went back to the street and started begging again. Once again, Alvin and Brian saw him begging, and Alvin asked him about the diamond. Matthew told him what happened, and Alvin felt bad and started thinking if this guy Matthew will ever have a happy life. Now Brian, who's actually a really wise guy, but he just doesn't talk very much, smiled at Matthew. Then Brian took out one coin and gave that coin to Matthew. The value of the coin wasn't even enough to pay for a simple meal for anyone. And Alvin asked Brian, "Hey Brian, I gave him gold coins and a diamond, which could have given him a wealthy life, but it didn't help him. So how will this just one coin help this poor guy?" And Brian smiled and told Alvin, "Let's follow Matthew and find out." So on the way, Matthew was thinking that this one coin that was given to him couldn't even buy him a simple meal for anyone or anyone else. So, what could he do? Matthew saw a fisherman. Who was getting a fish out of a net, and the fish was struggling. Matthew felt pity at the fish. So, he thought that this one coin won't solve my life situation. Why not I save this fish? So he paid the fisherman and took the fish with him. He put it in a small pot of water, which he always carried with him. The fish was struggling and ended up throwing up a diamond from the mouth. And Matthew screamed with joy, "I got it! I got it!" And at the same time, the thief Tim, who had robbed Matthew's bag of 100 coins, was passing through there. He thought that Matthew recognized him and may get him punished. So Tim got nervous and he ran to Matthew. He apologized and returned his bag full of 100 gold coins. Matthew couldn't believe what had just happened. Alvin saw everything that happened and said, "Brian, now I understand why you only gave him 1 coin. You're a really smart dude." And Brian answered, "Just keep doing more meditation and Kumon homework, and you can become wise like me." So the moral of the story is pretty simple. Usually, whenever you have a chance to help someone, just always do whatever you have. Like, however much you give that much. It can make a really, really big difference. And then the second is that there are always a bunch of really, really rich little guys, and you should always, try to be best friends with them, and don't ever take giving for granted. Okay. Skit number 2.
That one's been open.
Alright, so this is the beginning of our second skit, and also the last thing that we're going to do today. So, this story is called Salt, Glass of Water, and the Lake. Once upon a time, there was a very unhappy young man. And at the end of each day, as he lay in bed, he would always find something to complain or be sad about. Whether it was because it was raining outside, that the store had run out of his favorite ice cream flavor, or that he was just losing too much in video games. So one day, he went to a wise old master in the village to ask for a solution. "Dear master," he asked, "what can I do to be happy?" And the old master rummaged through his cupboard and pulled out a glass, which he filled with water. He then told the young man to reach into the pantry and put a handful of salt into the glass of water, and afterwards to drink it. "How does it taste?" the master asked. "Terrible," spat the apprentice. And the master chuckled and then asked the young man to take another handful of salt and bring it out to a vast lake behind the master's hut. The two of them watched together as the young man threw the salt into the lake and swirled it into the water. The old man then said, "Now drink from the lake." As the water dripped down the young man's chin, the master asked, "How does it taste?" "Good," remarked the apprentice. "Do you taste the salt?" asked the master. "No, I don't," said the young man. The master sat beside this troubled young man, took his hands in his own, and said, "The pain of life is pure salt, no more, no less. The amount of pain in life remains the same, exactly the same. But the amount that we taste the pain depends on the container that we put it into. So when you're in pain, the only thing you can do is to enlarge your sense of things. Stop being a glass and become a lake." So these are the types of stories that we usually tell at the end of meditation each night. If you are an adult, or even if you have kids or if you have grandkids that are interested in meditation or funny stories like this, then tell them to join meditation. We have an Uber conference number, which I can put up later. But yeah, this is what we do. All right, so thank you very much. That concludes our program.